sweet love to me. I know all the things to do to please your body, and if loving you is wrong, I don't wanna be right. Am I asking too much if I ask you to stay tonight? Take over your body. I know that you got no mileage. We get together, we wildin'. We keep our business in private. Running your chicks when you're private. Running down you to the finest. Yeah. I can feel your energy. I can tell you into me. I can feel your synergy. So baby, just keep loving me.
What's going on? Hey. Hey.
Energy that make you wanna love me, make you wanna fuck with me, yeah. I'm gonna be right here for you. The other ones just can't do it for you. I got the vibe of life. Take over my body. Never mind it. We get together, we wildin'. I like our business in private. Playing out trips, playing private. Winding down me to the finest. You know I like this shit. You feel like the best you ever had, just being real. I give you good, good love and have you where you feel. Yeah, I know this love ain't gon' give you the chill. I can feel your energy. I can tell you into me. I can feel your synergy. So baby, just keep loving me.
What's going on? Shout out to everybody that's here early in the morning. We're going to roll right through it. I used to come through early in the morning. Then I stopped. Now I'm back at it. Let's go. Fair use act. Everything I do is fair use. All right, just letting y'all know what's going on. If you got a sweet tooth, go to your Walmart, your local Walmart. Stop at JD's Vegans. And in the ice cream section, pick up one. You'll never be the same again after that. Okay? Look, I'm gonna skip one of my intros. Let's go straight to this.
But I know that there's more. More for you, more for us.
DJ discretion.
Flow still sick, I ain't talking the pandemic.
DJ discretion.
Flow still sick, I ain't talking the pandemic.
DJ discretion.
Flow still sick, I ain't talking the pandemic.
Say you love it, what you gonna do now? Hope you're ready, cause I'm really about to put it down. Girl, you know that I will never disrespect you. May not tomorrow, but tonight I wanna spend you. That ass down, gotta make it last now. Start off so, then I'ma beat it up.
All right, there we go. I'm sorry. I'm about to say what's going on. Everything was just working. I had muted myself. All right. Look, shout out to everybody that's here. I'm looking at the separate monitor. And Alicia said, I was just playing that song. Great minds think alike. Shout out to everybody that's here. Let's get this early morning workout. Let's get this news out there before we get into class. And I'm telling y'all, for class, get your pen and paper ready. I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm coming. And trust me, that's for class. That's after this live. That's the live after this live. This live is just information and current events of what's going on. All right. So check it. We're going to start. I'm going to say thank you, everybody that's coming. Thank you, everybody that's here. Hit the Cash App, $ official DanaJay. Hit the super chat at the bottom of the screen. It's not mandatory. It's just voluntary if you choose to. For the people who's been sending me donations, thank you, no matter it's big or small. I want to say thank you publicly and personally, and I appreciate everything you have done. Y'all see it. 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 See it. I just had to flex that real quick. So we got a lot of current events to unfold. If y'all haven't been on Big Vi Opinion, he's covering the Chris Brown situation, so I won't touch on it. I will readdress it probably on Monday, but I won't touch on it while they are breaking it down. I will not step on their toes because he's doing a great job as far as breaking down what he see in that case. All right. But I'm gonna give y'all some other cases like this one right here. I'm gonna give y'all a joint. Georgia pastor accused of false imprisonment after 8 people, some disabled, found in basement. Wow. Wow. Let's go. In Griffin, Georgia, a Georgia pastor is accused of false imprisonment after police said he was keeping at least 8 people against their will in his home about an hour south of Atlanta. According to the Griffin Police Department, Curtis Bankston, 55, and his wife were using their residence as an unlicensed group home. And they locked the people who were staying there in a basement at times. Most of the people living in the basement being used as a personal care home were mentally or physically disabled, the police said. The discovery was made after paramedics came to the home last week to respond to a call about someone having a seizure. First responders noticed the door to the basement was dead bolted and had to get into the basement through a window. That's the pastor. He looked mentally ill. Jesus. An investigation found that the couple was allegedly operating the unlicensed personal care facility under the guise of a church known as One Step of Faith Second Chance. What? Hold on. An investigation found that the couple was allegedly operating the unlicensed personal care facility under the guise of a church known as One Step of Faith Second Chance.
What?
Oh my God. Police said that Bankston and his wife were in control of the disabled individual's finances, medications, and public benefits. And some of the people were also denied medications and Medicare. By Friday, all of the people in the home between the ages of 23 to 65 were placed by the Department of Human Services into suitable care and housing. Police said, and an investigation was open into potential neglect and abuse. Bankston was arrested, and he and his wife could face more charges, police said. it is both frightening and disgusting to see the degree to which these individuals have been taken advantage of by people who were in a position of trust. The Griffin Police Department said in a news release, the city of Griffin, along with DHS, will continue to use any resources available to ensure this does not happen again. Wow. Wow. So the pastors out here stealing money, scamming people, and anything they can do to get ahead don't make sense. Don't make sense. You don't have to scam nobody. You don't have to do any of that to get ahead. But I guess that's the moral compass of what some pastors do. Make it make sense. Let me look at the comments. I think you've been hard, but I'm focused. Hey, Rose Key. Let's get them likes up, y'all. I read about this. The pastor and his wife said they are innocent, but why have a deadbolt? Exactly, Alicia. If you are innocent, why have a deadbolt on the door? I'm not understanding that. If they did what they are accused of, they should be under the jail, but I pray it's not true. Well, I don't know about it not being true because it done made the news. So if it's not true, then they got a major lawsuit on their hands. So I don't know about it not being true. But, you know, a lot of people sit back and say, well, Dana, you talk about Biden and them all the time and this and this and this and this, right? So I sat back, I said, you know, people want to try to make it seem like I'm against Biden. No, I'm against his practices. I'm against who he is as a person. I'm against this actor that's portraying to be Joe Biden. If you think I'm lying, go to my Rumble. I have a video called Who Is He? Watch it. I can't play it on YouTube, but trust me, go to Rumble. It's up there. I'm about to put it on We Got Ups. I'm about to put it on Getter. But to appease my audience, we're going to talk about what happened with Trump. U.S. Supreme Court spurns Trump bid to keep Capitol attack record secret. Okay. We're going to talk about it. So I hope people are happy now that they see that I'm not biased at all. I talk about everybody. So let's go. The U.S. Supreme Court on Wednesday rejected former President Donald Trump's request to block the release of White House records sought by the Democratic-led congressional panel investigating last year's deadly attack on the Capitol by the mob supporters. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. What? Yo, I'm not. See, and then when I go off, I'm wrong. Hello? Say what? Mike, give me a second. I'm gonna call you right back. Give me a second. People just call you to start talking. All right. The decision means the documents, sorry about that. The decision means the documents held by a federal agency that stores government and historical records can be disclosed even as litigation over the matter continues in lower courts. Trump's request to the justices came after the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia, that is, for the District of Columbia Circuit on December the 9th ruled that the businessman turned politician had no basis to challenge President Joe Biden's decision to allow the records to be handed over to the House of Representatives Select Committee. Democratic Representative Benny Thompson, the panel's chairman, and Republican Representative Liz Cheney, its vice chair, in a statement called the Supreme Court action a victory for the rule of law and American democracy. The committee has already begun receiving some of the documents Trump had hoped to withhold, they added. A Trump spokesman did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Trump and his allies have waged an ongoing legal battle with the committee seeking to block access to documents and witnesses. Trump has sought to invoke a legal principle known as executive privilege, which protects the confidentiality of some internal White House communications, a stance rejected by lower courts. Wow. The brief Supreme Court order noted that the weighty question of whether a former president can assert an executive privilege claim did not need to be answered to resolve the case, because the Court of Appeals concluded that President Trump claims would have failed even if he were the incumbent. His status as a former president necessarily made no difference to the court's decision, the unsigned order said. Only one of the court's 9 members, conservative Justice Clarence Thomas, publicly noted disagreement with the decision. That's letting you know something going on. The House committee has said it needs the records to understand any role Trump may have played in fomenting the violence that unfolded on January 6, 2021. His supporters stormed the Capitol in a failed bid to prevent Congress from formally certifying Biden's 2020 presidential election victory over Trump. The committee has asked the National Archives, which holds Trump's White House records, to produce visitor logs, phone records, and written communication between his advisors. Biden, who took office 2 weeks after the riot, has determined that the records, which belong to the executive branch, should not be subject to executive privilege, and that turning them over to Congress was in the best interest of the nation. Trump has argued that he can invoke executive privilege, which he can under the Constitution, based on the fact he was president at the time, even though he is no longer in office. U.S. District Judge Tanya Chutkan on November 9th rejected Trump's arguments, saying he had not acknowledged the difference owed to Biden determination that the committee could access the records, and adding, presidents are not kings and plaintiffs is not president. Wow. Wow. The select committee is comprised of 7 Democrats and 2 Republicans. The Supreme Court's 6-3 conservative majority includes 3 justices appointed by Trump, but it has not always been receptive to his requests. The court last year rejected his request to block disclosure of his tax records as part of a criminal investigation in New York, and also turned away attempts by Trump and his allies to overturn the 2020 election. Shortly before the riot, Trump repeated to a crowd of his supporters his false claim that the 2020 election was stolen from him through widespread voting fraud, telling them to go to the Capitol and fight like hell to stop the steal. That's not what happened. But I'll reserve my situation. So I'll just say he did not urge nobody to stop no steal. The rally was called Stop the Steal. And what he did do and did say is, we are the people, and they are trying to certify a stolen election. I find it funny that they claim Trump supporters stormed the Capitol, but the Proud Boys clearly say that they not for Trump, they not for Biden, they for themselves. And the Proud Boys were the ones that stormed the Capitol. I see a troll that made it in here, but now the troll gone. So it is what it is. So, you know, I cover all stories, you know what I'm saying? Because I got some Biden stuff coming today. It's like everybody's in trouble now. But one thing I want to touch on is this right here. Us being a family over here, we're going to touch on some real stuff. Now, I purposely ain't say nothing. But if y'all remember Brian Laundrie, that's the one who killed his fiance, Gabby Petito. And I told everybody from the jump he killed her. Everybody was like, no, Dana, you jumping to conclusions. I said, nah, Brian killed her. But what didn't make sense to me is that the family gave him $2 million. Now, I want you to stop and ask yourself, what can you do with $2 million? So when Gabby was reported missing and they was doing this bootleg nation search, right? And I know y'all gonna say, well, Dana, you being heartless. Why you call it bootleg? Stay with me, I'm gonna tell you why. Mysteriously, after 4 days, right? No, I'm sorry, after 3 days. And a third of that day, they found Gabby's body, right? Now, mind you, they supposed to have been on a trip. 3 days later, they claimed they found Brian Laundrie's body, right? I need y'all to make this make sense to me. Why haven't we heard anything else from him? No funeral, no procession, no coverage, no nothing. Brian Logic, they did a nation search. Oh, we're gonna find him, we're gonna find him. Mistakenly, he was eaten in the woods. No funeral, no procession, no body, no nothing. It started piquing my attention. That gathered my attention. I said the FBI is at work. Because when a person is murdered, right, and it make national attention, they uncovered that the parents of Brian Laundrie gave him $2 million, right? So why wasn't the parents ever questioned? Because if Brian Laundrie killed Gabby Petito, that's called aiding and abetting if the parents gave Brian Laundrie $2 million to do whatever he wants with it. Now that I've set the stage for that, I hope you're thinking, because what I'm about to show you is definitely going to make you think. So we haven't heard nothing. We haven't seen nothing. But then yesterday, this what pops up. Brian Laundrie wrote a notebook that he killed fiance Gabby Petito, FBI says. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. No funeral, No possession, no nothing. Everything went cold until this pops up. Brian Laundrie wrote in a notebook found with his remains in Florida that he killed fiance Gabby Petito. Wait a minute. They supposed to found his remains almost 2 months ago. So why didn't this come out 2 months ago? The FBI said Friday, resolving a mystery that has lingered around the high-profile case for months. The FBI offered new details, and the case presented a thorough timeline of the events surrounding both Laundrie and Petito's disappearances, and announced the case will be closed with Laundrie as the only suspect in Petito's death. The FBI is full of sugar honey iced tea. And I'll go live and say it like I am now. The FBI is full of bull crap. The investigation did not identify any other individuals other than Brian Laundrie directly involved in the tragic death of Gabby Petito. FBI Denver Division Special Agent in charge Michael Schneider said in a written statement in September, Laundrie returned home to Florida from a cross-country trip in which he and Petito planned to travel to national parks across the U.S., but his fiance was nowhere to be found. Soon, Laundrie also went missing, fueling even more interest in the investigation. Laundrie's remains were found in Florida in October after a weeks-long search, about a month after Petito's remains were found in a remote area near Wyoming Grand Teton National Park. I call cap. And I'm going to be honest with you. I believe that was just a distraction to the American people, to the American national people, to take off what's really going on with the underground X people and the Z people, as well as this bullcrap Omarion virus. Now, I sit back and I wonder, why do they name it Omicron? I'll get into that later. I get into that later. I definitely get into that later. So, good morning, everybody. Good morning. I'm just here to wake you up this morning with some early morning news. Also in the news, Joe Biden says Roe versus Wade is under attack like never before. Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm against the Roe versus Wade decision. And I'll tell you why. I can't go into full detail of why, because YouTube will strike my channel. So I will give you the buttered version of why. And I'll say this. I'm against murders of children. And I'll leave it there. I'm against murders of children. However, under special circumstances, like rape, forced rape, doctrinated forced rape, and entry. I think if the mom do not want to keep an offspring of those heinous attacks, I believe she should be able to make the decision to get that seed out of her. Now, maybe that will help some people. I'm against murders of children. But under special circumstances, I believe the mama have that right to get this out of me. It wasn't my choice to have this in me. So I don't think it should be y'all choice to make me keep it. But for these girls that, girl, I'm just gonna do what I want to do, and if I get pregnant, I go get an abortion. No. There should be some accountability being held. If you lay there and open your legs willingly and as a willing participant, then you don't go to some table and have it sucked out you. No, you deal with the responsibility and the consequences of your actions. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. So that's out the way. But Biden, you're in trouble, bro. I got a question. If y'all wondering if Joe Biden might win the election, check this out. And this is coming from Brownsville, Texas.
Breaking this morning, an ICE agent weighing in on the massive migrant drops we've seen at the southern border. And the details are stunning.
So Team Fox coverage, Jason Chaffetz has reaction in a moment, but we begin back on the border, La Jolla, Texas there, where Bill Malugin begins our coverage today. Bill, hello.
Bill, good morning. This body cam video likely to raise eyebrows, also raise a lot of questions about the secrecy in which the federal government has apparently been moving illegal immigrants all around the country in the dark. Take a look at that body cam video right now. As you mentioned, this was back in August, Westchester County, New York. Government chartered flight lands at the airport there. Local police officer shows up and sees illegal immigrants getting off the aircraft, and he starts asking questions. Take a listen.
Figure out what this is?
Yeah.
What this is about?
You know, you're on a secure facility here, and we don't really know anything. We're in charge of security. So that's hence where we're having a problem here. So,
yeah, we're hanging out here on the tarmac, things like that.
I don't know anybody.
I used to pick up basketball teams that have more security.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. You know, it very easily, you know, few people could just go that way. So I'm here to see where they're coming from. Oh yeah. I mean, it's slowly coming together, but we also don't know, you know, really what's happening, how they get here, whatever else.
You don't want to be somewhere where spotlight.
Yeah.
You want to try to keep it as down low as possible. A lot of this is just.
No, I get it. I just, like I said,
stuff that we don't tell people. Because what we don't want to do is attract attention. We don't want the media.
Yeah.
Like, we don't even know where we're going when they tell us.
Meanwhile, we have been witnessing our own mass releases of illegal immigrants here in the RGV this week. This is video we shot yesterday in Brownsville, where we saw well over 50 single adult male illegal immigrants just dropped off by ICE near a parking garage in the city and released in the public. You're watching as an NGO leads those men across the street to a bus terminal. Many of those men had ankle monitors on. Several of them were hiding their faces from our cameras. An ICE agent came forward to me who's been involved in mass releases and told me this has been discreetly going on since last spring. He told me that ICE has been releasing migrants with misdemeanor criminal records, including assault, DUI, drug possession, and illegal reentry. I reached out to ICE about that this morning. They did not deny it. They told me all releases are done on an individual case-by-case basis, and they consider all factors when doing so. And back out here live, I also asked that ICE agent, are U.S. taxpayers footing the bill for migrant travel? He told me they work with NGOs. The NGOs will ask the families of those migrants to please provide an address and buy them a bus ticket or a plane ticket to a city of their choosing. If that doesn't happen, the NGO will buy the ticket themselves, then bill the federal government for reimbursement. That agent went on to tell me that he feels the Biden administration has turned ICE ERO into an unofficial travel coordination agency, and morale has never been lower.
Well, there's a lot more to learn on this. Bill Malugin, thanks. La Jolla, Texas today. Dana.
Well, I'll be. So ICE is no longer ICE. It's turned into a travel agency under Joe Biden. What up, MC Outlaw? Big Baby Pernell, hey. It is what it is. It is what it is. I mean, this is what they want you to believe. They want you to believe that the 2020 election was real. Nothing happened. And the turnout happened the way it happened. Well, you can turn that to well, you can tell that to retarded people. But I have a question. You mean to tell me if Jay-Z can't get 100 people, I'm sorry, if Jay-Z can't get 1,000 people to 7 of his rallies, he give a free concert and only 2,000 people show up. But you have R. Kelly, who had 50,000 people show up to his rally in the middle of a pandemic. And then he give rallies and don't announce it, and 100,000 show up. So at election time, you mean to tell me that Jay-Z folks outvoted R. Kelly folks? If you think I believe that, trust and believe. I got some oceanfront property in Idaho that I want to sell you. It's not making sense. But to each his own. Check it. Also in news today, affirmative action, Supreme Court to consider use of race in college admissions. So is this what they've been hiding? Y'all think I'm joking. I keep telling y'all, college, it's not for everybody. So affirmative action, Supreme Court to consider use of race in college admissions. The Supreme Court announced Monday it will decide whether the use of race in the admissions process at Harvard University and at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, violates civil rights law and the Constitution, reviving a controversial legal debate over affirmative action that has been years in the making. The decision to hear the two cases puts the contentious issue of whether universities may consider race when accepting students before the high court for the first time since 2016. Harvard acknowledges considering race in its admission process, but says it does so as one of the several factors and approach that is consistent with the current legal standard. Wow. Wow. This is crazy. Let's go ahead and finish this because we got something to cover. Spotify. Uh-oh, here we go. If you don't like if the master don't like what you say, they will try to get you out of there. Spotify is removing Neil Young songs after he complains of misinformation. So I take it that Neil Young is attacking them about the COVID vaccine because he's been very vocal. So let's understand what we say. Neil Young wasn't bluffing. Spotify confirmed Wednesday that it has begun removing Young's music from the streaming service, 2 days after the star briefly posted a public letter calling on Spotify to choose between him and Joe Rogan, the Star podcast host who has been accused of spreading disinformation about the coronavirus and vaccines. Young's challenge to Spotify has become a high profile, if unexpected, flashpoint and the battle over misinformation and free speech online. It also raised questions about the power of performing artists to control where their work is heard. In a second statement that was posted to his website Wednesday, Young called Spotify the home of life-threatening COVID misinformation. He added, lies being sold for money. Whoa. His criticism of Rogan, a comedian and actor who has become Spotify's most popular podcast host, sometimes speaking at great length with controversial figures, came after a group of hundreds of scientists, professors, and public health experts asked Spotify to take down an episode of Rogan's show from December 31st. That episode featuring Dr. Robert Malone, an infectious disease specialist, promoted several falsehoods about COVID-19 vaccines, according to the group's public letter issued January 10th. In a statement on Wednesday, Spotify said, "We want all the world's music and audio content to be available to Spotify users. With that comes great responsibility and balancing both safety for listeners and freedom for creators. We have detailed content policies in place, and we've removed over 20,000 podcast episodes related to COVID since the start of the pandemic. We regret Neil's decision to remove his music from Spotify, but hope to welcome him back soon." Stop. So the way they got this written is that Spotify removed it, but Spotify didn't remove it. Neil Young removed it. Wow. See how misinformed and see how it can be so misdirected. You see what I'm saying? So it says Young's most popular songs, such as Heart of Gold, Harvest Moon, and Old Man, have been radio staples for decades and have attracted hundreds of millions of streams on Spotify. In his statement Wednesday, Young said Spotify represented 60% of the streams of his music around the world. Young's music was expected to be fully removed from Spotify within hours. The news that the service was removing his songs was first reported by the Wall Street Journal. In his original letter, which Young had addressed to his label Warner Records, which is nothing but Warner Brothers. Hold on. Which is nothing but Warner Brothers. Okay.
So when I think about my brother Malcolm,
which is number Warner Brothers, and his manager, he said Spotify has a responsibility to mitigate the spread of misinformation on its platform. I want you to let Spotify know immediately today that I want all my music off their platform. He added, they can have Rogan or Young, not both. The letter was removed from Young's website soon after it was posted, although it drew wide news media attention. Rogan, a comedian and actor, signed an exclusive podcast deal with Spotify in 2020 that has been reported to be worth $100 million. Jesus. Although Spotify has not confirmed that figure. Spotify has defended Rogan in the past, including after an episode that featured conspiracy theorist Alex Jones. So now they calling Alex Jones a conspiracy theorist? What in the world? In 2020, we want creators to create. Daniel Ek, CEO and co-founder of Spotify, told the Financial Times then, it's what they do best. We're not looking to play a role in what they should say. Spotify has 318 million monthly listeners around the world, including 172 million who pay for subscriptions, according to the company's most recent financial disclosures. In the past, Young has removed his music from streaming services only to quietly reinstate it. In 2015, after making complaints about the quality of sound on streaming, he took his music down from all major audio streaming services, including Spotify and his biggest rival, Apple Music, but it was added back soon after. Wow. Let's get it going. So Joe Biden was to go to Pittsburgh today, but the bridge mysteriously collapsed. Pittsburgh bridge collapsed before Biden visits tout infrastructure needs. Wow. Somebody sending a message. Shout out to my guy Face. Love him to life. I am going to call him today. Rapper Scarface gives update on kidney transplant. Man, I'm so sad to see this, man. Rapper Scarface and Mia X recently sat down to discuss the dark side of recovery following life-saving surgeries. Both of them have had recent struggles with their health and are only with us today thanks to the miracles of science and advances in technology. While they are grateful for the doctors and professionals who have helped them beat their ailments, one thing they want fans to know is that the road to recovery is not easy. During a discussion with Mia on his Ghetto Boys Reloaded YouTube network, Scarface reveals that his body initially rejected the kidney his son gave him last year. Brad Jordan, Scarface, 50 years old, is a pioneer in hip hop and responsible for putting Houston, Texas on the map. The hip hop icon revealed last year that COVID had compromised his kidney, forcing doctors to put him on dialysis. When I did dialysis for a couple of months, I was tired of it all. I was sick of it all. Nah, I need a transplant, Scarface recalls. So he took to Twitter in hopes to find a kidney donor amongst his massive fan base. Just found out blood type don't matter, he tweeted. If you are a donor, they will match me with my kidney in exchange. So anyone can be a donor. Can't thank y'all enough. Following the tweet, Scarface was met with a lot of love and volunteers. Many fans offered to donate to the legendary rapper. One fan claimed it would be returning a favor since his music taught him how to manage his depression. Another fan claimed the rapper didn't need a donor and only needs black seed oil and sea moss. All you need is some black seed oil and sea moss. I shook my uncle back dealing with the same situation. Now his kidneys is working back like he was. Thank me later, Unc. I'm telling you, it works. I know who did that. Wow. It turned out he did not have to look far, as his son, tour manager Christopher Jordan, was willing to go under the knife for his old man. Why not? It's my dad. Jordan said in interviews, he gave me life, so it was only right that I returned the favor by extending his. Announcements of the surgery stated that it was successful and Scarface was on the road to recovery. I will be calling Brad today. However, Scarface recently opened up about his body rejecting the new kidney following the first week of healing. Scarface revealed he has similar symptoms, often feeling pain in the area near his kidney, but realizing it's all in his mind. He states that his body initially rejected his son's kidney, treating it like a foreign entity in his body. True, the body does that. He jokes that the new kidney was maybe throwing up the wrong gang signs and his body fought off the kidney. They hit it, knocked it out, and I had to back to the hospital, the rapper revealed. Your body is going to fight off a foreign object. Although he faced many issues with the transplant initially, things seem to be going a lot better for the Texas rapper who calls the complications normal. So yeah, go follow the Ghetto Boys Reloaded page on YouTube. I'm definitely going to support my guy. Definitely going to support my guy. Last but not least, I got an issue with this. I have an issue with this. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody that's late. I'm almost finished, but I have an issue with this. This leads me to believe that when Deshaun Watson said he wanted out of Texas, they staged these women to make it seem like he's this bad person to force him to stay. If you were there, if you're a witness, why invoke the Fifth Amendment? I told y'all that R. Kelly situation is going to open up for everybody around the world to go through this. I told y'all 2 years ago, Chris Brown was next. Look at it. I said Trey Songz was next. Look at it. I never knew Deshaun Watson would be next. Let's read. Witness in Deshaun Watson case repeatedly invokes the Fifth Amendment. Why? Let's go. The 22 civil cases pending against Deshaun Watson, which a pre-trade deadline effort to settle, all of them failed to accomplish. Proceed through the so-called discovery phase. Watch this. Proceed through what? The so-called discovery phase. With that being said, hey, Sharice, with that being said, it's showing you that this is a witch hunt and a hoax. But Tony Busby, the lawyer representing the plaintiffs, recently discovered something interesting. In a statement released to Mark Berman of Fox 26 in Houston, Busby claims that a witness who allegedly worked closely with the Texans and coordinated massage sessions for Watson repeatedly invoked the Fifth Amendment privilege against self-incrimination while testifying. Stop. Somebody has been threatened. So they told that staff member, if you tell the truth, you're going to lose your job and we're going to come after you. I don't know if that's what was directly said, but look at this. In a statement released to Mark Berman of Fox 26 in Houston, Busby claims, and Busby is the lawyer against Deshaun Watson, Busby claims that a witness who allegedly worked closely with the Texans, that's the football team, and coordinated massage sessions for Watson, repeatedly invoked the Fifth Amendment privilege against self-incrimination while testifying, which means what? This person got something to hide. Or this person has been threatened because if this person talk, it destroys this whole case. Everything I've been saying from the jump. But let's finish reading. That witness spent the entire hour of the deposition asserting her Fifth Amendment privilege. Sick. That's what the lawyer against Deshaun said. Sick. Busby said, indeed, she wouldn't even admit that she knew Deshaun Watson. Jesus. The witness isn't named. An excerpt of the transcript was provided to Berman. Questions that prompted the invocation of the Fifth Amendment, including, for example, whether the witness knew Watson, had a fetish to go to a massage and then try to convince the unsuspecting therapist to have sex with him. Watson can be questioned under oath after the Super Bowl. Busby said 13 of the 22 plaintiffs already have been questioned under oath by Watson's legal team, which is led by Rusty Hardin. A grand jury has been investigated whether Watson's alleged misconduct violates any relevant criminal laws. Stop. Why would a grand jury be investigated? It says it right here. A grand jury has been investigated. Well, if the grand jury is only set there to make a decision, why would you investigate a grand jury? But a grand jury has been investigated whether Watson's alleged misconduct violates any relevant criminal laws. Watson remains under contract to the Texans. They surely would like to trade him. Well, if they wanted to trade him, they should have been traded him instead of trying to hold on to him and force him to stay. So that's a lie. The unresolved legal issue continues to be an impediment to any trade. That's a lie. And in turn, to the resumption of his career. Watson didn't play at all in 2021. Witness in Deshaun Watson case repeatedly invokes the Fifth Amendment, originally appeared in Pro Football Talk. But why would you investigate a grand jury if everything is on the up and up? That's a question that everybody needs to sit back and ask. But look, it's 11:08. You have 22 minutes to go get lunch or to go get brunch. And then when you come back, we're going to learn some more about how the government made you a corporate entity. And we're going to learn how to get out of some stuff. We're going to learn how to operate under the Constitution. I'm ready. Are you ready? We also going to learn the truth in banking and how to trade in commerce. And we also going to learn what a real notary looks like. Okay. So get ready. Go get your brunch. And I'll be back very, 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 very soon. All right. See y'all in 21 minutes. Peace.
Can feel your energy. To me, I can feel your synergy. So baby, just keep loving me. Love. 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 You know how I get when you make sweet love to me. I know all the things to do to please your body. And if loving you is wrong, I don't wanna be right. Am I asking too much if I ask you to stay tonight? Let me take over your body. I know that you got no mileage. When we get together, we wildin'. We keep popping it in private. Running up just like in private. Winding down you to the finest. Yeah. Baby, I know how to make you feel. You got the best I ever had, just being real. I give you good love and have you in your feels. Yeah, you know that love, I'm gon' give you the chills. I can feel your energy. I can tell you into me. I can feel your synergy. So baby, just keep loving me. Love. 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 just can't do it for you. I got the vibe. No lie. Yeah, come and take over my body. Yeah. You know that I never minded. We get together, we wildin'. I like our business in private. Running up checks, flying private. Winding down me to the finest. You know I like that shit. You know how to make you feel. Got the best you ever had, just being real. I give you good love and have you where you feel. Yeah, I know this love ain't gon' give you the chill.
I can feel your